Hello and welcome to Season 5 of Own Your Divine Light Show. I am your host, Yarra Atlantica Miller, also known as Janet Miller. And the theme of this show is the Divine Human Rising, Recovering Our Sacred Truth. This show is an exploration of the secret truths that have been concealed from us. And we are letting go of this old system that no longer works and has held us back from becoming the divine humans we are meant to be. Today, we are having the amazing intuitive healer and medium, Susann Shier, who will be sharing her divine truth with us so that together we can achieve the divine human rising. And I just want to welcome you, Susann. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you, Yarra. It's an honor to be with you and everyone that's here. Oh my gosh, what a garden we're in the midst of. Spring has arrived.
I know, I love it. I do. My daffodils are blooming. I'm feeling so good when I see that. I just love it. So let me tell you a little more about Susann. Susann Shier is an international acclaimed author, spiritual counselor, intuitive healer, and a medium. And she is the founder of the Soul Mastery. She also reads the Akashic Records and teaches how to access and live from the magnificence of your soul gifts, strengths, and purposes in this world. She has the rare gift of catalyzing the luminous bridge between your soul and your reunion with a life of joy in an easy, practical way. And her natural ability to inspire and uplift all that she touches activates each one's magnificence and unique mastery for infinite possibilities in life to emerge. Susann has inspired her and helped tens of thousands of people for over 30 years, combining her exquisite connection to the divine with her training as a psychotherapist, inspiring the revelation of each person's inherent spiritual wealth to flourish and thrive. She teaches a 6-month soul mastery spiritual coaching certification training and leads week-long retreats in remarkable locations worldwide. Susann's heart wisdom will open you to live authentically, create a life you love, and help you to access your soul purpose, passion, and purpose. Her 4 books, Soul Mastery, Accessing the Gifts of Your Soul, Soul Radiance, Bringing Your Soul Riches to Life, Soul Reunion, The Return Home from Separation, and that's powerful. All of them are powerful. A Soul's Journey to Sacred Love serve as a foundation for her unique, profound work. You've been busy, Susann.
Well, I've done it over many years, so.
And it's so wonderful. I mean, all you brought through. So Susann, it's so good to have you here today.
Oh, it's wonderful. I'm so happy to just share, and more share, and let everyone receive and be ignited and inspired and uplifted and find that joyful, peaceful, love-filled place that is your birthright.
Yeah, and we definitely need that. I think everyone's craving that. And I feel that so much is happening astrologically in the world right now that it's providing us sort of a little grace period. So it'll be a short grace period and then we can get into some business again. But, Susann, you've certainly embodied the divine human rising with all that you brought to humanity. And, so I always want to know a little bit like, how did you shift from psychotherapist to intuitive spiritual counselor? What was the turning point for you?
So I trained as a psychotherapist in college.
Okay.
After that, I went to, so I wasn't a hardcore psychotherapist, like social worker and psychiatrist or any of that. I trained in psychotherapy. And then I went and lived in a spiritual community. Well, this was back in the 70s. Okay. So back in the 70s, that was the thing going on, which was fabulous. And I learned energy work. Wow. And then after I was in the spiritual community, I started putting my psychotherapy training with the energy work and a couple of different things like alchemical hypnotherapy, and just started, talk about alchemical hypnotherapy, just started to create these amazing new ways of doing things. And I'm like, oh, I love this. And then I came upon the Akashic Records
Mm-hmm.
and went, oh, the soul. Oh, yeah, it's all about the soul, isn't it? As you can tell from the names of my books and everything I do, it's all about the soul.
Mm-hmm.
So then after I said, wow, it's all about the soul, I ran into, what's his name? Michael. There's so many Michael Murphys and Michael Moores and all that kind of thing.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yep.
a man who was doing life, Michael Newton. Thank
There
you.
you go. Oh, I know Michael Newton, the
You.
Michael Newton Institute. Yes.
Guides in my memory.
Sure. Sure.
Lives between lives. And
Yep.
I was fascinated by that. I'm like, well, of course we have incredible things that go on as a soul, other than in this earth plane. But he was hypnotizing people and asking them about their life between lives as it related to the physical and, what's it like on the other side. And it was, the heavenly stuff and all of that. And I thought, well, that's great, but I think I want to understand people's how the other dimensions of us relate to our life here. Because if we've been souls for other lifetimes and other dimensions, well, what does that have to do with our life here? How do we put those two together? Hence the whole bridge thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I had learned how to do regression in hypnotherapy. So I was like, oh, well, okay. What about if we take a journey? Oh, and then because of the Akashic Records, I learned about people's home worlds, right? That we come from
Yes.
other worlds before coming here, where we have actually developed our soul gifts and strengths, and
Mm-hmm.
a little bit about our challenges too, but we've developed our soul gifts there to bring here to planet Earth. So I went, oh, wow, let's take journeys to our home world so we can discover all about that and who we are in the fullness of our soul, all that we are in that way. Yes, so we can bring it back here and live from those places. So
Yeah.
that's when I started doing that. And it's been fun ever since.
Yeah. Well, you do something totally different, which I think is amazing because I've had a reading with you, and it's so incredible that you can access what you call parallel lives in our parallel universes that we have come from. And and you do it in such a beautifully gentle way, like very effortless. And you allow us to be the guide in a way, but you're there giving us the right promptings and questions to get us to not be afraid to keep going, because it's definitely a different kind of a trip, but it's a really beautiful, positive trip. And when I did my reading with you, it was just incredible to learn the things about where we come from. And then of course, some of the things that trip us up, because most of us, I think, come from the universes of love, right? So that, love.
Well, some of us here on this call for sure, but most of the no.
Not everybody. Okay. All right. Well, that's good clarity.
No. That's the problem here.
Okay. Well, that's true, isn't it? Yeah. So, all right. So talk a little more about that, because I think you talk about being brave and bold. So that'll pull us into all this kind of talk. Like, we have to be brave and bold today to move through everything we're going through. Plus, just to find out who you truly are, you have to appreciate yourself in all that you've been and all that you're meant to be, right?
Yes, the wholeness of yourself. So being this year is about being brave and bold a lot, is what my understanding is, which is great. But we can't be brave and bold unless we have all of us working with us. If we're in fear, we could go, oh, I've got to be brave and bold, but we're this little part going, oh, I have to be brave and bold. Okay, let's see what I can do here. Let's see what I can do. And it's like, I can't be brave and bold. Just little old me can't be brave and bold. But when you connect to the largeness of your soul and the worlds that are supporting you, worlds upon worlds and universes supporting you, and embody that, then it's like the force is with me, and you have that viscerally. So when I do a reading, each one is unique in their soul makeup, origin, all of that, and where they've come from. It's sort of a kaleidoscope of dimensions and possibilities. And that's what the Soul Mastery books is all about. But So existing in parallel universes, like you were just talking about, I've finding more and more people that are like, yeah, I know I feel like I'm existing someplace else, but it's all sort of foreign to me and I don't know quite what to do with it. Right. And
Mhm.
so it's a matter of going, well, these universes that you're existing in is where the biggest part of you is. And that's why you keep going out of your body, because you want to be in the fullness of yourself. So there's nothing wrong with
That's
going out of
true.
your
Yeah.
body. You want to be in that space that feels like home. It feels natural. It feels like breathing again. And it doesn't feel so limited as planet Earth. So being able to, and that's what a guided journey is about, is viscerally experience that. And as you mentioned, I guide you, but I want to teach you how to fish. I want
Mhm.
to teach you
Mhm.
how to fish and be in that and love that and know what it is for you, how it shows up for you. And that's what sessions are about. And then we bring it back into your heart and into your body. And
Mhm.
when you do that, when you can live from that place, that's home base. That's the feeling of bliss. That's the peace we're looking for. So the only wound is the wound of separation from all of that. And that's why we go out there to love and all of that. It's because it's not here for us. I know we say it's all within us, but I'm a myth buster. I don't believe it's all within us. The essences are in us, but we've been missing certain pieces because of our soul challenges, having them in us. So we
Mhm.
have to go to our larger dimensions, the universe of me, go into the universe of you and bring that in. And then we can go, oh, yes, love is here. Home is here. Strength is here. Braveness is here. Braveness and boldness are universal qualities. That's where we get them, not from willpower. And I'm just going to punch through. Ay, 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 because, that's exhausting. That's
You're
fight or
right.
flight.
You're right. So that's a beautiful concept and understanding that you brought through that really has helped a lot. And I know I'm still, it takes a while to assimilate that, I think, because when you've
Yes.
connected, pardon me?
Yes, because it's a whole
Yes.
new way of being. Yeah.
Exactly. It
Mhm.
is. And I love that you put it so that, we can't be, like say, like we have everything within us. I love when you said that. That's a really good catch because that's all you hear right now is everything's within you. And you say, well, not totally, because now you have to connect to those higher aspects, which I've always understood is what our job is in this
Right.
incarnation.
That's right.
Especially this one. Is that true? Is that what you found?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So I understand where this idea of it's all within you came from, because we have, in the name of sovereignty, we've always looked outside ourselves. We've
Mhm.
always,
Mhm.
spiritually, it's always been religion
Right.
or government or this guru even,
Mhm.
looking outside ourselves. So when we go to the place of it's within us, it helps us to go, I am a sovereign being. I really can get my own connection. And then we go, wow, but that connection that I want has not always been within me. I need to go to get it within the larger me, right? Some people would call it
Yes.
higher self. I think it's bigger than just your higher self, right?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
sort
you're
of like,
definitely showing us. Yeah.
yeah, it's sort of like we say, well, the adult in us gives the inner child what it needs. And I'm like, it doesn't. My adult self, human self, can't give my child everything it needs, because my adult self doesn't have it all in and of itself. My human adult self is still working with stuff. It's still my adult self. You could say, well, it's all your scared parts are from younger parts, but my adult self doesn't have it together. But my universal self of unconditional love does have everything I need. So when you bring that to that young self in you, it goes, oh, that I can trust. I'm not so sure I can sometimes trust the human part of you, but I can trust that unconditional love and that universal power. It's like saying, I'm going to, I can trust human power. We can't trust human power. It's misleading, misguiding. It's greedy and manipulated. But universal power, oh yeah, that's a power source we can trust. So we want to learn how to connect to that and have that in our heart so we can have the power of love, the power of creation moving in us to activate what we want to manifest. Okay, that was a lot.
Yeah, but it's so unique. I love how you look at things. It's a whole new, it's kind of a fresh way of looking at it. You really do see it in a way I haven't heard anyone else present it, because you really have embodied it. You've embodied it in such a way.
Embodying it, yes.
Like I never thought of my universal self. And like when you were saying that, I was thinking, well, this is soul maturity. This is what we're calling our spiritual maturity, that when we connect to that higher self or the higher aspects, which are the parallel lives of the fullness of who we are, which is not just this little human, then we're really stepping into our soul mastery, which is your name, and also our soul sovereignty, but also our soul maturity and our spiritual maturity.
Yes, we're not in kindergarten spirituality anymore. It's like the whole idea about protection is kindergarten spirituality, which is fine when you're just starting and you want, but true protection is that inner strength of holding the gold of all of you inside. And then, you have the gold of all of you inside is a sense of giving you self-worth and self-respect, right? If you feel a sense of I am valuable, I am sacred, I am valuable in the universe, I have a special place, I'm seen, I'm understood there, then the whole idea about boundaries, for instance, takes on a whole different light. You don't have to protect yourself from the bad juju out there, right? Which is fear-based. So protection puts up a wall, boundaries put up a wall. True boundary is being able to hold the gold of you and creating preferences and requests and things like that of what you want to create with and what works for you and what doesn't work for you. It's not so hard and fast, I got to state my case here. Again, it's out of danger or fear often. That's that whole protection mechanism as well. So when you are the gold of you, that's what you radiate out, and nothing can touch you except the gold vibration that you're emanating.
Yeah, and so I'm wondering now. I still have true thoughts on that, because it's a whole new concept for me. The way you look at it, and it makes sense, because I have had mentors that have said you don't need protection. Then I've had mentors that are like, absolutely, you have to have protection right now because it's so crazy in our world. Don't be crazy. Don't be silly to go without protection. So, I've done both. I mean, like, dude, some days I want protection. Some days I'm like, why do I think I need protection if I'm supposed to be what Susann is saying, this golden being of light who doesn't need to worry about, get out of the fear. I mean, how else can you talk about that to people?
Okay, so I want everyone right now to just imagine a gold ball in your heart. You can make it up. It can be a sun. It can be a gold ball. It can be a whatever, gold ball. Okay. Now, you may feel some constriction in your heart when you do that. We won't talk about that right now. Do not be afraid about that. Just put the gold ball, the image of a gold ball, the feeling of a gold ball, and feel it as something that you trust being there. Not because I said so, but it feels good. Let it drop in, take a few breaths, let it feel good. Okay, and then I'm going to remind you that the world is a reflection of you. We always talk about it all starts on the inside. The world is a reflection of you. If the world is a reflection of me, and I am filled with a gold ball that I trust, it starts to radiate from me. And guess what I attract? The gold of humanity, the gold of the world. Where's the crazy world that I was told that there is? Oh, it's out there, but it's not in my field. It's not, it's out. I can feel it out there, but it's way out there. It's way out there. Gold of my world is attracting all sorts of beautiful gold. And isn't abundance and gold, go together, and manifestation and gold and abundance go together? Yeah. Your whole body filled with gold. You are contributing to the world right now, but you are your golden self, and that will be the world you create, and it will be reflected to you without you having to do anything. It shifts it completely, in fact.
Wow. That was beautiful. I could really feel that. It was very gentle, and very loving. And I felt very safe myself personally about how it just felt I felt like a sun. I could feel like a sun in my body. And just the trusting of that, I wasn't worried about anything. I don't have to worry about these extraneous things that the chatter is going on around us. It's like, it's all distraction, I guess, in so many ways.
Well, when we're looking for something that we don't have, we've been taught, it's sort of like that book, Are You My Mother? Are You My Mother? Are You My Mother? Do you remember that book?
I do know that book, yes.
I don't know if kids are still reading it. I wish they were, because it's adorable.
You're gonna have to look for that.
So we're always going, do you have what I'm looking for? Do you have, unconsciously, do you have the love I'm looking for? Do you have the connection? So we're always outside ourselves, looking unconsciously to fill ourselves with what we don't have, instead of, which is all horizontal, instead of going vertical and going, wait, I feel a little lonely or lost right now. I could use some anchor of love. Where are you going to go? You're going to go to that universe of you where the anchor of love is. And it's as simple as bringing the sun in, or a gold ball in, to feel like there's something larger than me anchoring inside of me as love, with love. And it's like, oh, okay. And it fills the holes in you. So you're not Swiss cheese going out there, out there, out there, out there. And I could talk real quickly about the empathic nature too of things. It's gotten a little messy.
Oh, yes. Love to hear this.
So as big, beautiful, vast souls, like many of you are, existing in other dimensions and universes, okay, with that, and those universes hold oneness and unity, as well as universal power and infinite possibilities for creation, just brimming with abundance. Okay, so imagine you come here and you know how, and you're great transmuters. Okay, you know how to transmute things. It's just part of your soul. You come here and it's nothing like that, and the people here are crazy or whatever, they're disconnected. And you go, oh, wow, I know how to bring people back into unity. I know unity. I know oneness in my soul. I know that. Unconsciously, you start feeling what's out of sync with oneness. You're like, oh, that's not oneness. Oh, that's not. Oh, that's not oneness. And your soul subconscious goes, oh, well, maybe if I take it in and transform it, it will turn into oneness. And I'll help all these people. So there you are with this Swiss cheese in your heart going, here, let me take that fear from you. Let me take that anger from you. I'll help you and transform it. And then you'll feel better, and love will be on the planet again. Unity will be on the planet. I'm going to take it in one at a time and be overly empathic and pick it all up and transform it. Oops. Now, at a soul level, it's a brilliant capacity. But at the earth level, it just gets you in trouble because we don't really know how to transmute it here like we did there. Okay. So I often will say to overly empathic people, do you ever take in the joy on the planet or the love? No, you take in the negative emotions. But see, I mean, it's not a God-given gift. It's just a distortion of bringing your beautiful soul gifts into an earth plane that doesn't know how to reflect them here. So again, if you've got your gold of all of you inside and your heart is filled, no Swiss cheese, and you know, somebody comes up to you and goes, I'm terrified of what's going on in the world. Instead of going, yeah, me too. And you take it in, you want to help them and all of that, you go, yeah, it can get a little crazy out there. I'm so glad I know what I know. And I know that love is more important than fear. That's what you emanate from that place instead of getting caught in them and trying to help them so they have love and then you have love because you've given them love. That's a mouthful, everybody. You might have to take a minute to digest that. It's
So
a lot.
when you say,
That's a
so
whole training right there.
yeah, well, what you're saying is, what I'm getting, what you just said is that as an empath, people try to take the pain away from other people, and then they have pain. I mean, I know friends who literally have pain when they feel relatives or somebody around them, they are so sensitive that they go, oh my God, I have such a headache right now. And it's not mine. I don't know where this is coming from. And then they get a flash of somebody that they know that, and then that person's calling them saying, oh my gosh, this happened, that happened. And they take it on. And I said, well, why are you taking it on? Can't you just, it's not yours. So, you know, and I've been guilty of it myself to a point, not quite that level. I'm not as sensitive as that, but I can take on the collective pain sometimes. I don't realize.
We're wanting to change it. That's the only reason we take it on. We want to change it, but it's not our job. That's not how we contribute, is to let them have their experience. Stay in your own lane. You change it by being more gold in yourself. As an example, there's a lot more I could say about that. And let them find their own transformation to where they need to be. You take their power away. You play God every time you say, well, I'll take their power away. I feel so bad for them. Or even if it's the animals, I feel so bad for them. Of course we have compassion. I don't want to see a dog whimper for 1 second, right? And I'm like, oh, and then I go, hold on, let him have his experience. Don't project that he's in deep pain. He's having a moment. Be there with him. Let him have his moment and love him where he is, to uplift him and let him get his own, you know, do his own fishing, so to speak, whether it's a person or an animal or whatever it is. But taking it on is a bit of a soul, what I call a soul challenge that can be taken care of. Absolutely. You don't have to always have that. And when a person says it's not mine, well, it's not yours, but then it is, right?
Yes, because you've
got
taken
the headache, it's yours.
Yeah.
You've decided it's gonna be,
it's such an interesting understanding, because when we learn, we're told we should be of service, right? So we're being of service. So it's like so you have to, like the way you're saying is the healthy way to be of service, because you're taking care of yourself. And really what I've understood, the longer you're in this work and in this lifestyle, you learn that if you don't take care of yourself first, you cannot shift anything. I mean, you have to shift yourself. You have to love yourself. It's so important, because as you say, when you take on other people's, you're taking away their power and you're giving away yours, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a bit of a victim thing without being mean to people. It's just what it is. It's like, wow, I'm not letting them have their power. I'm not holding my power. Everybody feels powerless, and I've dipped into that powerless place. Yeah, of the emotional realm, being king, right?
Yeah.
And that is not contributing, and that is not service. Service is an old religious term that I'd like to get rid of.
Oh, good. That's good to hear.
Right?
I like that idea too.
service is, as I say, it's an old religious idea that we're here for everybody else.
Mm.
I was watching a movie lately called Women Talking, and it was about not a corporation, not a cult, a community, not even a community. It was called something anyway, and it's based on a true story. And the men had the right to do various things with the women based on if the women don't let them do that, they won't go to heaven. So
Mm.
that idea was being passed on. Some, it's spiritual, so we have to listen to it. And the
Mhm.
women finally said, no, we're not going to do that anymore. So this idea about service and all of that is like, wait a minute, I'm here for everybody else. Well, then, and everybody else is here for everybody else. And then we're all just sort of, all outside of ourselves all the time.
Yes. Yes.
Happen. Oneness is in that place of sovereignty,
Mm.
right? Abundance. We all want abundance. You can't be abundance if you're in service and giving all your abundance of the gold of you away all the time. I'm not giving
Yeah.
anything away right now. I am not giving anything away. I am giving expression to the radiance of my abundant connection and wisdom right now that feeds me and overflows to everybody else.
Yeah. And see, that's a powerful understanding. It really is. It's a powerful knowing. I mean, it's a knowing for you, but to hear it at first, you're computing it through your brain, of course. Then it goes into your heart and you go, yeah, that feels so much better. It feels
Yeah.
so much better. And that's what we have to get to is the feeling part, right? Yes.
I
the
love
feeling.
that. The feeling. How does it feel? People say, listen to your body, but I don't say listen to your body because your body's going to tell you all sorts of stuff like, don't do it, be scared about this interview, whatever it is. It's like, no,
Right,
I'm
right.
listening to
Yes.
that part of my body. I'm going to listen to my sacred heart.
Mm.
What's it say? And it feels good going in A direction, doesn't feel good going in B direction B. It's a sacred heart. It's not my emotional heart. It's my sacred heart.
Mm-hmm. That's really beautiful. So, you talked about universal power a little. Can you talk about that a little more? Because we're talking about the personal power and then giving away our power. So what does and you did touch on that earlier. So a little bit more information about.
Sure. It's mostly an experiential place, as you know, but so imagine it has levels to it. The first level is feeling safe.
Mm-hmm.
You can't feel powerful until you feel safe.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely
right?
True. Yeah.
So being in the universe of you, and we'll just use that gold of you. When you hold that gold inside, as you said, Yarra, very beautifully, I feel safe. I don't need to worry about everything going on out there. I'm not in fight or flight. I feel safe and secure in having what I need. That's the first level of dimension of universal power, okay? Is feeling safe and also knowing that there's a benevolent universe backing me.
Yes.
So more than me that's with me. We are one. We are together. I'm a we, right? I say to people all the time, my guides and I are working together. The universe and I are working together. I'm a we. It sounds like I have a million imaginary friends. I do. I do. I don't leave home without them. Well, I don't live without them. But, then there's a feeling of never being alone or powerless. Okay.
Yeah.
Universal power, having done taken people on guided meditation journeys to connect with their universal power source for years and years and years. It's different for each one, how that shows up. For one person, it may feel like the home feeling of being in nature, but not just when you're in nature, you can feel that as a universal source. Another is feeling regal, like a king or a queen, that you're in your power. Another is feeling beautifully connected and that there's a whole bunch of beings there with you, empowering you to be all that you are. I mean, it's just endless, the possibilities of what universal power looks and feels like. But it will give you a sense, and that's the bottom line, of feeling known and seen, feeling a sense of having what you need, feeling a sense of absolute, not just trust, but knowing that you're taken
Yes.
care of.
Mm.
Deep knowing, that's gut level. You know, trust, I say it as faith. Wait, what is it? There's prayer. Wait, there's faith. There's one more in there. Faith, trust. Let's just do the three, okay? When you have faith in something, you're sort of out, I have faith that it's going to work out. You're sort of, your
Yes.
energy is drawing on something larger. That's great. But we want more. Then we go into, oh, there it is, hope. Hope is sort of more mental. I hope it's going to work out. Not so sure it's going
Don't
to.
we say that all the time? Yeah. Or we
I
can.
hope it's going to work out. And it's, you know, it's not very solid. Then
Yeah.
you go into trust, which is the heart. I trust it's going to work out. Can you feel like it's more sure that it's going to work out when I say that? Then you take it down the elevator to knowing in your abdomen, I know it's going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
Done. Right? Can you feel the difference between I have faith that it's going to work out? No, it starts with hope. I have hope that it's going to work out.
Yeah. Hope is a tough one because it's very wishy-washy.
Very wishy-washy.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Faith is a little better. I have faith. Okay. There's some connection. Trust is where we usually stop. I trust it's going to work out, but you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like fingers crossed.
Right. Right.
And the know is, oh, I know it's going to work out.
Yes. Yes.
It's a done deal. That's what you want. That's what the solar plexus is about. That third chakra is, and so it is. And the lower chakras are, and so it is. And power has to live in that abdomen. That's our creative power center for it to be true power that will manifest.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Creation comes before manifestation.
Yeah, and I had a thought and it just flew out of my head again. I said, "Oh, I had a good thought to talk about with you and that." And what is it? Well, hope is sort of I know what it is. There's no commitment with hope. Hope is sort of, there's no commitment there. Like you haven't fully committed to this. Like your intention and commitment are similar. You know, like you haven't committed or made the intention.
Well said. I like that.
Yes.
Yes, you're hoping somebody else is going to come invisible or invisible.
Right. You have to be the one. You have to decide, am I committed to this or not? Is my intention that this is going to happen or not? So I find myself when things are getting wonky, like I went through that yesterday and the day before, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like all over the place. I know this is going to work. That's what I said to myself. I know it's going to work. And it all worked out.
I was like, this is crazy how much foreboding anxiety runs our lives.
And it helps to let go of that anxiety, because we can let go of it when you just said, you don't, if you get into the hope, I hope, change that in your vocabulary.
Right.
Sounds like a word we can drop, actually, because
that would be good, wouldn't it?
I think it's a good word to drop. I used to like the word. Now I'm totally don't even feel like I need it after you've just talked about this.
That's so fun.
And to say trust is good because it's getting it into the lower level. And then when you finally get to the no, I know this is going to work. The way it works out, it's going to be perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
It may not be exactly, the vision. You have a vision, you have an intention, you know how the universe works. It's going to bring it to you the best way it sees possible. So that's how I let it go and give it that, ending. Like the universe is going to pick the best choice and best ending for this, for me at this moment. It's kind of, it's another trust. It's working with the universal power, like you're saying. Oh my gosh. We just went full circle. Wow, that's interesting.
Yes, it's knowing that the universe is very powerful. We all have ideas about the universe being not our best friend or whatever. That's a whole chapter. But going back to this matter of knowing, and I lost my train of thought as well. How fun is that? Or power and manifestation. It has to be in your abdomen. There has to be a feeling of it being in your body. You mentioned the word commitment. Commitment is in the body. I
True.
know it's going to work out, everything in me. So there it is. When you get anxious, you find how you're going, whoop, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You're going up, 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 up. Okay. And it's what you're going to do. You have to have an antidote. You can't just say, I want to release the anxiety, because then you're still just going to be floating. You're going to go,
Exactly.
oh, what do I know right now that I want to create? The antidote, okay, which is, I know it's going to work out, or I know I'm taken care of, or I know I have everything I need. I know my boss is going to give me that raise. Know it deep inside yourself, okay? Or I know that job is mine, or whatever.
And the universe will bring it to you.
Well, because you're in the field of the
Correct,
energy
because
of
you've
it,
made that commitment and that intention.
right?
It's like that gut. It's like your gut
You're
feel.
creating it in your body already. I
Yes.
know I have that job. So you're in the field of having the job, and the universe goes, okay, we're going to bring our magic wand and ignite that into reality with you.
Mm-hmm. Because it says the universe wants to make us happy. That's what I always hear. It wants to give us what we want, but do we know what we want? This is the secret, right? The secret is, this is right now what you're talking about. We have to be so present. We have to be so aware. And you're talking about, the universal power is so incredible that if we make the intention and we're very present, and you sort of didn't say it that way, but I'm saying it that way, that it's going to bring us what we choose in our lives. And
Right.
because it loves us, because it's unconditional love, right?
Of course.
Because the universe is love.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, it's love. It's the only place we can get unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
And people will say to me, well, I don't know what I want. And I say, well, pick happy or peaceful. In this moment, pick happy or peaceful. Nobody said, nah, I don't want either of those. Forget it.
True.
Start living in that space, that is your goal, so to speak. That's what you want to create, is happy or peaceful, one or the other, or both. You can have both. And then that will start to open the door to feeling what you really want in the outer, but it has to come from happy you or peaceful you first.
Yes, I love peaceful, because who doesn't want peace?
Yeah.
I mean, happy's great, but happy can come and go quickly. I mean, because we can't be happy all the time. I mean, that's just ridiculous, right? But we can be joyful, but we can be peaceful. So it's sort of, you're in this like homeostasis. It's almost like being in this beautiful flowing energy. Peace feels like a flowing energy.
It is. And as you say that, I recognize that peace is the foundation. Even if you are terrified, you can find that kernel of peace within you. So you want to have that resource available so you can always come to it, because it's okay for you to get scared. Heck yes. It's okay for you to feel deep grief, anger. All of those emotions are fine. But if they come from a place of peacefulness as a foundation, believe it or not, then it's sort of, I'm getting a funny picture. You know how frogs will put out their little tongue and go and then bring it back after they've gotten the fly? You put the energy of anger out, and then it's done, because you're coming from a place of peace. That doesn't work for me. Okay. Right? Versus if you don't have a place of peace, you're going, that doesn't work for me. And those idiots, and no. Instead, you're going, that doesn't work for me. And it could be so much better situation. And we're going to find a different situation, and you remain in peace. But you've used the force of that emotion to galvanize action, which is what anger should do.
That's good. That's a beautiful example, because people sometimes when they're angry, they don't know how to express it without just exploding, So you're bringing, I love that you say, come from a foundation of peacefulness. That's a great teaching, because
well, you just brought that forward. I had never thought
and
about
we worked through it
that
together.
way.
So we brought it together, and
Yeah.
that's so beautiful, because now we can be angry, but know in our core, it's not going to ruin our life, ruin our day. That's our peacefulness. And then we just put it out there. There's another way to do this. I don't like this way. So it's not going to work for me anyway. You're being honest because you can only talk from your own experience,
right?
Because that's your truth.
Right.
And when you do that and you express it, then this person, I mean, if they value you and respect you, hopefully will be willing to work with you. And this is the kind of earth we want to work in. This is the kind of world we want to create.
Right. Because you're not making it about them. You just
Right.
say, that makes me angry.
Yes.
What I want here is way different than just that makes me angry.
See, that's perfect.
Like viewing on the other person. Like,
yeah.
No,
And, people,
you're angry. It's your anger.
yeah. And we're tired of blaming and shaming everybody. Those are the words that we've got to take them away.
Yeah, I hope we're really tired of that.
Yeah, those are like, I'm exhausted from those words, to tell you the truth.
Exactly.
Because we've lived with them for so long. And it's like, we're done. We're done with it. Take it away. We're taking them out of the vocabulary, the dictionary, whatever. We don't use dictionaries anymore.
Talk to Webster himself. Yeah.
Yeah. And just to bring in that's being your authentic self. That's being the divine human rising, because you're being authentic and real.
There you go.
And you're sharing your sacred truth, which is, this isn't working for me.
Right.
And your sacred truth can be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be a profound, big universal, whoa, but it can be as simple as that.
It can be as simple as, you're afraid about something. You wake up, you're like, I'm afraid. And you're like, I don't know what that's about. Or sometimes you do. And you're like, wait, this is not working for me anymore. No, I am done. I am committed to being done. Waking up with that everyday anxiety that says, yikes, yikes, and yikes. It's just becomes a pattern. But there has to be some power to it in the gut that says, I am so done with that.
Yes.
So you're not trying to figure it out or work it out or come back to peace or go, okay, I'm not going to be afraid. I'm going to come back to peace. It's like, no, you've got to get some power going where you were powerless. Back of the anxiety is a sense of powerlessness. Anger is powerlessness. You got to go, nope, that doesn't work for me anymore. What I want here is, okay. And then you start creating what you want. I want to feel good about stepping into this day. I want to feel great, peaceful, whatever it is.
That's great. That's beautiful. I love that. Because that's exactly what we're moving towards. This is what we're choosing. I think we do, but we don't know how to put it into words. So we're putting it into words, which I think is helpful for us right now. We don't do telepathy too well yet. Some of us do, but not everybody. I mean, I can't say I do, but although if you live with someone long enough, there is a telepathy in that relationship. But just in general, this is beautiful information for humanity to be hearing, and anyone listening right now to get that. So anything else we should talk about? You talked about, is there a way to know your soul gifts? Because when you said your parallel lives are important to help them integrate into your life, your gifts, isn't that's sort of how I understood something from you. And so is there a way to know your soul gifts, and how do you get it?
That's part of why I still do private sessions, is because I want everyone to know their unique soul gifts.
Yep.
And it's like, well, you shouldn't have to still be doing private sessions. It's like, well, each person is unique and your soul gifts are unique. And I want you to experience them directly and not just me telling you you're good at this, this, and this. That's not enough. How many people have had someone say, oh, I see you writing a book, or I think you're a healer. And people will come to me and go, well, I was told I'm a healer. What am I supposed to do with that? I'm like, good point. What are you supposed to do with that?
Right.
Because at one level, we're all healers. At one level, we all have a book within us, right? It's the book of our life that we're giving and writing all the time. Not everyone's going to go on, put it on, can't say paper anymore. Not everyone's going to write it down necessarily, but the book of your life is what you're writing all the time. So understanding your soul gifts is basically, for me, understanding the world you came from, where those gifts were first developed.
Okay.
Where they were first developed. But if someone doesn't feel drawn to do a session with me, I will say to them, consider something that you enjoy doing, that you enjoy doing, that makes you feel good. Okay.
Mhm.
Now it could be making what? Chocolate chip cookies. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So it could be chocolate chip cookies. What are the qualities of spirit that come forth through you when you're making chocolate chip cookies?
Personally, it would be, well, I feel love because
Do you make chocolate chip cookies?
I have
Oh, good.
sometimes the
Okay.
easy way. They're
Yep.
already formed. I just put them in the oven, but they're hot
Okay,
and
great.
warm.
Okay, so you feel love.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I feel love and I feel nurtured
Yes.
because I'm nurturing myself with the cookies and I'm also sharing them with somebody usually. You
Yeah.
know, I won't just make them for me. I'll make them if someone, someone's here. And well, my husband. And so I'll make them for us sometimes at night. I do make them. And so I feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
I feel safe because it's sort of like it's a comfort. It's a comfort.
Okay. So your gifts are bringing love, nourishment, sharing, and comfort.
Mhm.
Those are beautiful gifts that you bring naturally. You don't even have to do anything. That is
Mm,
your soul gift. People will feel that from you in
mhm.
your presence if you're in the place of your soul gift. So that's a little exercise that people can do, okay, to discover what their soul gift is.
Yeah, and it's so simple, but it's like we need to hear it sometimes from someone to give us that consciousness of it.
And to
Sometimes,
remember what we're about, because we're always thinking about, oh, this person and that person. We don't realize how incredible we are just in our very makeup.
mhm,
Just
mhm,
exudes out of us. There are, when I speak to people about their gifts, say for instance, I talk to somebody and we're looking at the soul makeup of their husband or father,
mhm.
okay? And I will look that up for them and I'll say, can you feel how the core of them is very, and it doesn't necessarily mean every guy is like this,
No, no.
but this is often more of a masculine trait. Can you feel how this person is very trustworthy? And they're like, yeah, I couldn't not trust him. That's
Mm,
a soul, okay? That's a soul gift. That's a soul strength that person owns, is trustworthiness. Not
mhm.
everyone does that.
No.
Another one might be, oh, they're very loyal and like a great best friend. Okay. I am not a loyal best friend kind. That's not my gift. Okay. I have a good friend who's like, whoa, she's going to be my friend through thick and thin. Does that mean I'm flaky and not a good friend? No, it just means that's not my core heart.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
That isn't your shining light. Let's put it that way.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm a divine cheerleader.
Yes, yes, you are. And that's beautiful because
That's a
you're
soul
helping
gift.
people see all that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a soul
So
gift.
So I'm going to bring the flip side of that a little. Sometimes we talk about people are not ready to take on their responsibility of connecting and integrating their parallel lives and their gifts. Why do you think that's happening?
Oh, I'm glad you're bringing those things up. That's a soul challenge usually.
Mm-hmm.
If they bring their gifts, their strengths, they'll be harmed in some way for it, or rejected for it, or not seen or understood more than they already feel unseen and misunderstood.
Okay.
Okay? That takes a person back to, again, the soul challenge started. And that's what I love helping people with, is the challenges you have in life go way back. Now, we
Yes.
don't have to do a million past life regressions. I will look into the records as it relates to a person's soul challenge. And it usually comes from the person's journey from another world coming here. Okay.
Oh,
So
right,
if the
right.
person is afraid to bring it in, it's
Mm,
because when they brought it in this lifetime as a child or another lifetime, or, first incarnation, people looked at them and said, what? You've got to be kidding. Why is that important? So they went, ooh, I better tuck it away, right? How many people here listening to this will say, yeah, I was, psychic as a child, or I felt like I was very innocent or outgoing. And then all it took was somebody saying to me, stop putting mud in your mouth or whatever. Stop putting dirt in your mouth. And you were like, thought I was just doing it for the adventure. You're a baby, right? Okay.
Yep.
Shut that down. You've done those kinds of, that's happened to you in other lifetimes as well, not just this one. Okay. So that's why I like to get to the soul challenge of something so you can shift it at that level. So it will make you afraid to bring in your gifts because people here won't understand them. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
But
makes
that's changing.
it's
We're
changing.
seeing young kids coming in, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And when I see people, with ADD and ADHD, there's nothing wrong with them. They've got these soul gifts. They're just different than the human look of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're so quick. They're so fast. They're so different that we go, oh my gosh, no, it's too much. It's too much. They're just trying to bring the, new dimensions in that don't look like the human being that just sits there and goes along with the teacher, goes along with the crowd, goes along with,
Right.
they're like already, ready to take on the world.
Yeah. And so what about the rest of us, like the older groups that are having maybe gained in their gifts? So what's holding them back?
Just what I described before is more of that feeling that they won't be received here. And
Okay.
that they
So it's still the same. Yeah.
Because, the older ones feel like they've had to isolate, right?
Right.
Isolate, and nobody understands you. And
so they pull out a little bit of society.
Yeah, come out of hiding and start coming into the world. But this takes us back to that feeling of it's, I've had to isolate because a person will say, I've had to isolate because it's a crazy world out there. That's the paradigm that has to shift. I have a tremendous gift. I'm connected to universal power and divine love, and light is all that I am. All those things, you bring that in, and you could say, well, that's airy fairy. Oh, no, it's not. When you're embodied that way, then you're not trying to hide it. You're like, I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to be all of me. If it's a contribution, great. If people don't like it, oh, well, that's their loss, right? But they have nothing to do with the equation. I have everything to do with the equation. And that, again, the world is a reflection of you. So you will start to draw people who love having you be all that you are. You give them permission to be all that they are.
Yes. So the more authentic and willing you are to show who you are, the more you're going to draw that to you, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right. What else I know we're going to have to wrap it up soon. So this has been absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, I've loved what we've brought out so far. It's great.
I'm so glad. So do you see any particular goal for humanity right now that you would recommend for us, or that you think that we need to achieve? I don't know if it's a goal is the right word, but intention, maybe commitment, maybe that we need right now to bring forth, to bring out what we want to happen. Is there anything particular that you have any visions of, or any knowing about? Yeah.
Well, let me give the example. I am totally into what's occurring in Ukraine because of all it symbolizes. It's what we're talking about, come to think of it, not being stopped, right? We all want freedom with our peace. We want peace and freedom, both.
Yes.
Okay. So what is being represented there, which is, something, it's got a mission to it. I'm into mission. Okay. It's got a tremendous collective mission to it. Okay. That we are, it's not just about sovereignty, but it is. It's like I have the right to be all of me, and no one can take that from me. And no
Mhm.
one has a right to take it from me, belittle it, bully it. I mean, bullying is bigger than ever on a world scale, on a child scale, everything. I will not be stopped because somebody wants what I've got, which is
Okay.
just my power source. And it's a spiritual power source. So in Ukraine, they have very naturally a spiritual, the very feminine country, very creative, very artistic. That's spiritual power, okay, combined with their troops that are like, I'm going to fight for creation here. I'm going to fight for freedom and creation. We don't care how many people die at one level. We're fighting for something larger. That's the brave heart boldness, okay, that I am going to live, and living doesn't die, right? So holding for that inside ourselves, that's what bravery and boldness is. What are you being true to in yourself? And what will you not sell out for, no matter what?
Oh,
We're
that hits.
watching this, we're
Yeah.
watching it happen.
Yeah.
And everyone wants to come in, almost everyone wants to come in on this. It's like, yes, this isn't just about a little country. This isn't about a little person. This is about a worldwide shift that needs to happen. Okay. And it's going to have tremendous influence on climate change because we're learning to work together, right? If we want something to change, we have to work together. And here is this perfect vehicle for us to go, wow, we've got to work together. If this representation of freedom and peace is going to flourish for them, which has huge ramifications for all of us, it's all energy, then it's going to ripple into climate change and everything else. So what we can do is see that as a living example and stand for what we know is true in ourselves. And if we don't know what's true in ourselves, discover it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I like what you said about just seeing how it's playing out like a spiritual lesson for
Mm,
us. And it's really the way to look at in some ways to know that we have to fight for our freedom, our spiritual freedom, our own
we have to
sovereign freedom.
stand for our freedom.
We have to stand. Yeah.
When we
Yeah, I like
stand for it,
I like
that
that.
means,
And I think
yeah,
that's just a message that is so powerful. And
yeah,
thank you for that. Thank you
you're
so
welcome.
much.
You're welcome.
So,
Yeah.
any other final words you want to tell us?
No, do you want me to say anything about the
Yep,
special?
I was just going to mention, yes,
Okay.
you have some beautiful gifts, some special gifts for people, and then you have an offer you're going to make. So do you want to
Yes.
talk a little bit about those? That would be great.
Okay, great. I want to bring up some words about it so I can articulate it well.
Yes, I understand. Everyone will be thrilled because, I mean, what you've shared is so profound and so important for us to understand because, there's so much at stake right now that people don't, I think if they really, put their intention that we're going to create the best world possible and be the best, that we can with our heart-centered way of being,
Yes.
the world's gonna shift beautifully. I mean, there's going to be, like everything, nothing goes easily, but if we stay in that peaceful place, as we said earlier, that is our foundation to help everything move forward.
Exactly. So what we're going to do, what I'm offering is, yes, let's start with this special the session, because that's like the reason I do these offers. Okay. So this is like we talked about, helping you get in touch with your soul gifts
Yep,
and strengths and purposes. Everyone wants to know, what the heck is my purpose? Okay.
right.
You have many purposes, and a lot of them are essences.
Mm,
Okay. Essences that you have to bring forward, qualities of spirit, so that you have infinite ways you can bring them forward, but they are qualities of spirit in combination, unique to you, that you have to bring forward. And I want you to feel like you have that available to you. And of course, during a session, we'll take and it's the Akashic Records that I'm working with, your Akashic Records.
Mhm.
And in a session, we will take you on a guided, here I am, because it's the guides, your guides, my guides, taking guides from your home dimensions, take you on a guided journey, as Yarra was talking about earlier, to your home world, to your home universe, to feel that abundance, to feel that sense of well-being, to feel that love and that homecoming. I mean, I can't say, it's so simple at one level, and it is, like you said, very profound. That seems to be my
It
job,
is.
to go profound and simple and very practical.
And I think, and the whole, once you do this session, I think that's where the word peacefulness really comes into your life.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Home and peacefulness go together. We all wish that we could feel a sense of home in ourselves, which is peace.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep. And you also had a free gift that was something really
well. Also, with the session is also another. So package A has
Sure.
the recordings that relate to exactly what we were talking about, and then package B will be with a session. Okay.
Okay, so that's
Yeah, and
beautiful.
this is
Thank you.
just so great for this group, because it's what we've been talking about. Feel at home on earth in your universal self.
Wow.
So it's a 4-session immersion that I did very, very recently. So it's very hot off the press that I did recently for everyone on what it feels like to feel at home in your universal self, to bring those two together, to know how to truly use your true sensitivity, to know how to truly feel that you can work within yourself around these feelings of powerlessness, around the feelings of hopeless as it relates to the world, the fears of the unknown. Oh my gosh, those are the biggest things up right now, is the fear of the unknown. We know
Yes.
things are happening, but what's next?
Don't have a clue what's going to be next. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And we were hoping, the new earth would drop in so we wouldn't have to worry about it. It's not gonna work like that.
Doesn't seem to work
Coming
that way.
in a little at a time.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Those that workshop recording immersion, I call it, goes along with this really, really well. Yep. And you'll see
Beautiful.
how it's all outlined on the special offer, but I loved giving it, and the people are phenomenal, asking fantastic questions on the calls and everything. So yeah.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So I would highly recommend it if you're interested in really coming to that beautiful heart space that we've been
Yeah.
talking about. I think it's going to be
Yeah.
so positive for you
Yeah.
doing that. So I want to thank all our listeners who are here, and we appreciate you so much. And we love hearing any comments or insights that you may want to share with us, because those are always, very helpful, and just makes us know that, what we do is helping you and valued. So, valued by you, that you are getting something from it, that this is really what, what we're doing. And Susan, I want to thank you so much for your service to humanity and for helping us step into the fullness of who we're meant to be, because your heartfelt persistence and incredible patience, because you have that beautiful voice, it's just incredible, really shine. And, when people work with you, because I felt that immediately, you have this just very soothing way with you. So I'm calling you a heart light. You are the heart light. And because I feel like that, about you. Yes, because you really shine your light on us. I can feel the beauty, the warmth, and the nourishment that you give us. And it's love. It's a love, but it's very nourishing love. So it's a beautiful light that you shine on us. So the heart light is what I'm calling you. And which, as I said, you bring so much understanding and openness that allows us to, own our soul gifts and to flourish with them once we do. So thank you again for being here. And the divine human is rising, and we hold unlimited potential and gifts as we create our new earth realities. Thank you again, Susan, for your courage and for stepping into owning your divine light, which is my phrase that I love. That's my website and my name. As we raise our hearts frequency, we know that we are nourished with the love of the universe. And I am Yarra Atlantica Miller, soul name of Janet Miller, and I will see you all in the next episode.